Good day, everyone. It's Jill with Astro Press. I want to talk about a stellium, and to know if do you have a stellium in your natal chart, what it is, what does it mean, and how do you work with it. Now, first of all, a stellium is when there's a cluster of planetary energies in one of your 12 houses. And that is an energy of focus. Not everybody has a stellium. If you were born with a stellium, the focus is telling you, pay attention to me, pay attention to this house. We want you to express this energy, or you may express that energy this lifetime, consciously or unconsciously. For people who aren't aware of their stellium, they may never know, oh, wow, I'm just doing this house all the time, so to speak. I'm expressing this house energy. Balance is the key if you have a stellium. Balance is the key, because stelliums can take you too far, to excessiveness. So, for example, Debbie Reynolds has a stellium in the house of relationships, that 7th house, which is the house of Libra. And so anybody here that has a stellium in the 7th house, relationships would be pulling on you your entire life. Good, bad, ugly, horrific, devastating, wonderful, married, divorce, the public, fairness, the law, justice. And a lot of people would be, oh gosh, you're so lucky you have a stellium in the 7th, Debbie. And she's probably going, yeah, it's been fun, but guess what? It's been devastating too. And so when you have a stellium, for example, in the 7th house, relationships are the focus, but you have to always get back to center and balance and remember the house of self, which is opposite of the 7th. The 7th house is opposite of the 1st. The 7th is by the descendant. The 1st house is by the rising sign and how you're seen, the personality, you, the you house. So a stellium in the 7th person needs to be careful. They don't get swept away that their life is all about relationships and they forget who they are. Balance, again, as I mentioned, if you have a stellium, remember to get balance. Balance is key. And you'll know when your stellium is kind of taking over because you will feel very, very off-centered. Now, another example of a stellium. JFK Jr. has a stellium in the 8th house. That's the Scorpio house. That's the house of power. That's the house of sex, intense emotions, drugs, transformative substances, other people's money, partners' money, sexual affairs. That's the house of power and intense emotions, so intense that it's intense. Scorpio's the most intense water sign. So an 8th house stellium would not always be easy. Endings and beginnings. Endings are painful sometimes. Lots of endings are painful. Could you handle that? That's why Scorpios are so strong, because they have to deal with so much and they still, they make it through. And so that's an intense house. So if you have a stellium in the 8th about other people's money and power and everything, you got to remember to look to the 2nd house, which is opposite, for balance, and remind yourself, okay, there's all this stuff going on here. I need to remember to stop and smell the roses. Taurus house is a sensual house. And we have to remember it's not about power. Power may come about when you're in the public eye, in government or the presidency. But you got to remember to stop and smell the roses, which is Taurus, the sensual house. You got to remember to ground yourself. So stelliums wherever the house they're in, look to the opposite house to balance you out. Now, I don't have an example of a stellium in the first house, but I might. But I want to briefly say, if you have a stellium in the first house, or you have a family member with a stellium, or you're dating someone, or your partner's got a stellium in the first house, and you feel they're a little self-centered, let them know. You know, your chart shows you got a little too much of this self-cockiness in the first house going on, and you need to balance it. And to balance a first house, you look to the 7th house, which means you and me, which we need to seek balance. It's not all about me, me, me in the first house, which is the house of self. I, me, me, me. I do what's best for me. I do. There's people, folks, that have stelliums in the first, and they're just way too self-centered. And sometimes they don't know it. It's not like people are doing this deliberately, I guess is what I'm trying to also say. No matter what your energies are, it doesn't mean you're deliberately acting out, these horrible things if it's a difficult chart energy. Because we all have great things and we all have challenges in our chart. My point is this is the beauty of astrology from a self-awareness perspective, is that if you know that you have a stellium, for example, in the first house, and you hear rumors about you through your family or your loved ones that, there's a little bit too much selfishness there, maybe you might want to pay attention and go, they're right. I really do need to be a little more balanced. And it can't just be about me, 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 me. Yes, I am important, no question. But I need to know that there's others, especially if I'm having a relationship. I can't be all self-centered. It's my way or no way. So this is how I like to look at stelliums in a chart. They're a focus, and sometimes it's a great focus that you want. But sometimes they will take over, and that's when you need to remember to keep balance in your life, no matter what. Remember, Tesla said the keys to the universe are the 3, the 6, and the 9. And I believe he was talking about keeping the balance and keeping harmony. So enjoy learning about if you have a stellium, and just remember to keep harmony there somehow, some way. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.